Hey guys, it's me, the 90s Doggo, and we're going to do another podcast episode. This time we are going to talk about Arcane, but the second season. Since we already talked about the first one, might as well talk about the second. And here I am with my brother Alex,
Hi.
and with Stian again.
Hello, everybody.
Well, time to start talking. What would you guys like to talk first?
Well, obviously from the second season of Arcane.
But from the beginning, I guess.
Yeah. Um,
It starts right where the other season left off, where Jinx shoots the missile.
to the council and
Yes,
yeah,
and the
Yeah.
damage that caused.
yeah, and Caitlyn mother died and two random council members.
Yeah.
One of them was a bird guy that was a jerk.
And the robot guy.
Yeah, and C-3PO you could say.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, only the secondary characters died.
Yeah.
They don't have the
Yeah.
power of plot armor.
Well, literally, because in this season, Mel becomes like a magic user, and
A sorceress.
the excuse they give why Jace survives and her, even though the missile was right behind them, it was that she protected them with a magic shield.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
Yeah, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, sure. Because thing I wanted to mention was that how did Mel reach Jace that fast? Because they were a little bit of distance away. I mean, not too far, but just a reasonable distance in the council. And that missile was right behind her, as you mentioned. So, did she get sent flying and save Jace like that, or like? How did that happen? Like, did she react fast enough? Because it implied in the end of season one that that thing on her back, the golden metal pieces, like
Yeah, I
warned
mean,
her that something was about to happen.
yeah, I can see that, but I think it makes sense because later we see that she can use those AC shields really fast. What I have a little bit of a problem is that maybe in the first season that was not hinted at all, and they kind of feels like it,
Russia?
yeah, like it just came out of nowhere in in the second season. Like, yeah, there was a bit of a glow in the first season at the end with her armor pieces golden, but I don't know if that's supposed to be just like a little reflection, but I don't think that that means she has magic powers.
Yeah, that was something I got confused about too. Because like when I saw that, I thought it was implying that the metal pieces were like some kind of charm or something that has some type of magical property maybe,
Yeah,
but
maybe
like
like
what
the
it did is like
runes
it warns
from
her.
Rictus.
Well, for me the problem with Mel in this season is that, the Black Rose and all that is too rushed and that was, I don't know, maybe the third season if they're gonna be one, the main plot and Black Rose as the main antagonist, but now is still in the second season and it just doesn't work too much. It's one of the few complaints I have.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that part was so rushed, so just to set off things for future seasons. And
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I couldn't believe that maybe the armors of Mel had some runes, just like Rictus's spear could deflect magic attacks or something, but not that she has all this power out of nowhere. But And also that Black Rose thing, that was almost like a excuse to get rid of Mel for a long time and then make her come back later.
With a power up to
Yeah.
be tan beso, huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a thing that I had a problem with the Black Rose too. Is that
Yep.
they just used it as kind of an excuse to just push things along. I mean, like you could do maybe something better with
For me,
Mel
the
to have her
problem
like
with Black
disappear.
Rose is that the hype behind her is she's like this ultimate ancient evil satanic archetype, and she was nothing, huh?
Yeah,
In the end.
it even
Just
feel-
a wimp.
it even feels that Mel defeats her very easily.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like that mage, that Black Rose mage. It didn't really take a lot to defeat her. Mel just had to, I guess, channel a little bit of her magic energy, and the chains go.
And it doesn't
Like-
have much sense because Black Rose gave part of her powers to Mel or something like that, but Black Rose has been a magic user all her life, and Mel just
Yeah.
recently.
And it was clear during the fights that Mel had that she was getting used still to her powers, that she could only do those shields, but all of a sudden she can defeat this thing.
She can use. She can't use offensive spells and something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was something I was so confused with too. It's like, how did she become such a, practitioner with magic? Like, she just barely got these powers. Like, I mean, if they wanted her to be a mage, fine, but like, at least do a proper build up, or like have something where she's trying to like understand her powers.
I think that
Instead of just-
Mel had the potential to be the main character or protagonist, but for a third season, not for the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
because honestly, like, oh sorry.
nothing, just continue.
Oh, okay. Because honestly, like after what season 1 left off, it would have felt like season 2 would have focused a lot more on Jinx and Vi in particular, since a lot of season 1 focused around them. Well, it gave a fair share of screen time to everybody else, but like Jinx and Vi was like one of the main plot points of season 1, along with like what happens between Zahn and Piltover.
Yeah, at the end of the first season, one think that Jinx would be the next big bad, but after the third episode, she becomes good or something like that, and
I mean, they start to do her redemption arc, but it feels too rushed.
yeah, with the little girl and all that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think the girl's name is Isha.
Yeah.
Like when they decided to do the sudden turnaround for Jinx, it was like, wait, what? It's kind of
They
funny
made
how
that
this
Duel
just kind of happens.
Last of Us, the
Yeah, but
redeeming with a little girl.
I mean, yeah, but the problem is that one of the things that was doing the first season is that Jinx was too far gone. She has been too much influence with Silco, and her craziness was too much. And
And amplified with the Shimmer when she almost died. And
yes, and now even more with the death of Silco. And I think that, yeah, making a redemption arc for her will be hard, but not impossible. But the problem is that they try to do something too hard as just like an afterthought, that they couldn't focus too much on that with all the plots and subplots that are going on, and that's the problem mostly with this season. it's clear that this entire second season was going to be more, like maybe 2 or 3 seasons.
Can I say something? Now, it's true that we are shitting now in the second season, but one of the few things the second season does great is the Victor saga or story arc as the final boss.
Yeah, I mean, just like it starts
Oh, yeah.
right when the explosion of the missiles destroys the console. Because Mel didn't protect him, he almost dies. And the first thing that Jace does is notice that he has this kind of magic mechanical part, so he puts him right next to
Hex core.
the hex core. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Hmm?
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And that's a big mistake because of that Victor came back but different.
Yeah.
Like he transcend humanity, you could say.
Yeah, he got even more mutations.
Yeah. Now he's a magic metal man, or mostly
Almost
magic
like
metal
an evil
man.
Jesus or something like that, you could say.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, the idea is interesting. You know, I mean, I can understand why Jace, saved Victor and using the hex core to do it, since, as you said, the arm and the leg that he saw Victor with, it wouldn't be unreasonable to see that he came to the conclusions like, okay, this thing is helping Victor, so I'm gonna use it to save him.
Yeah, and how could you fix someone with normal medicine when he is like part metal and all of that?
And you need that the decision to fusion Victor with the hex core don't come from Victor, because in the first season he tries to destroy the hex core and his addiction when his girlfriend dies.
I mean, it was not his girlfriend, he barely knew her. Her name was
Yeah.
Sky.
Well, her admirer, you
Yeah.
could say. Huh?
Yeah, that's
Has
Yeah.
a crush on him,
Yeah,
a puppy's love. Huh?
yeah.
Yeah. And like, after seeing that
Well,
someone
technically,
like Sky,
the ghost of the girl Sky become his girlfriend.
Yeah.
When he's...
oh yeah,
Yeah, then
It's a little weird.
yeah, like it's very confusing when they did that too. Like Sky inside this like weird hex core or this like magic plane of existence. It's like, wait, so is Sky actually there? Is this like the Arcane making a manifestation of Sky because like it reads Victor's mind, or is this something Victor made? It's like, wait, how is this happening? And it feels kind of strange because you don't know the answer to that.
yeah. And yeah, another thing that we can talk about is also the Jace. He also, when he tries to help Victor, he also gets disappeared alongside Heimerdinger and Echo, see,
All right.
from a big part of the season when they get teleported.
The problem with that creepy scene is that it interrupts and distracts from the final battle of B and Jinx. Huh?
Yeah, with Sevica and Caitlyn.
Caitlyn, that was like supposedly the final battle. Huh?
Yeah, they have been hyping up this battle
Yeah.
of Jinx versus Vi for the entire first season with that opening, and now we finally see it, and it gets interrupted constantly by the
Yeah.
others.
With that creepy thing.
Yeah.
The weird magic wild rune thing.
Yeah, for some reason all their weapons are,
Glitching.
yeah, glitching, and nobody says anything. Huh?
Yeah. You will think that if
Like-
that heavily changed the outcome of the fight, because constantly where someone was going to use a arcane weapon, it started glitching. So of course they will mention it after the battle is over. But no, they ignore it.
Yeah, they just kind of forget. We gotta go back find Jinx, but we're not gonna talk about how weird it was that our weapons glitched and Jinx's weapon glitched too. Like her rocket blew
Yeah.
up, I believe, during the fight.
And it exploded right in her face.
Didn't kill her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it blew, like it was a huge explosion too.
Fight, 2 versus 2. It looked almost like a Smash Bros. Battle.
Yeah. Very chaotic.
It really
chaotic.
did. And like it's just we have one side, one group of fighters and another group of fighters, just Jinx and Vi, battling it out, and Caitlyn and Savika battling it out. Which reminds me, Savika was completely overwhelming Caitlyn during the fight, because Caitlyn and Savika have a completely different, physical
Fighting
build. So
style.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other is just a sniper.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
talk about Caitlyn. For some reason, she becomes evil and a dictator.
Yeah. Yeah.
oh my god, yeah.
I
Oh
think
god.
they destroyed her character with that.
Yeah, I don't know what were they doing with that.
Yeah, I don't like it. I mean,
Yeah.
like,
I know
Like,
she was
I'm sorry.
angry and she hated Jinx from going to, hunt Jinx to become a dictator. It just doesn't do it for me.
And yeah, using like a chemical weapon with the gas to invade Son was very.
oh man.
And V is okay with that.
And the
Yeah, that-
funny thing is that in the first season, Caitlyn had a captain that was a jerk, Huh?
Yeah.
Well, she becomes a bigger jerk and asshole than her old boss.
Yeah,
Huh?
Marcus.
Marcus.
Yeah, Marcus. But at least with Marcus, the difference between him and Caitlyn is that, I mean, even though the characters don't know exactly what's going on with him, we did. And, with Marcus, we can sympathize with him a lot more. But with Caitlyn, I mean, you can understand parts of why she's so angry because of what happened to her mom. But at the same time, it's like, okay, yeah, this is going way too far. Even if you're angry, this isn't really a good explanation or an excuse for it.
Nah.
Yeah.
I mean, well, that's one thing, but later in the season she becomes good again just because I told her something.
Yeah.
We don't even know what she told him that told her to convince her to become good again.
Yeah, it just kind of happens.
Well, maybe
It's like,
because
what?
she was just, a puppet of Ambessa.
Yeah.
And she was angry, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, oh yeah, that kind of reminds me. Like the build up to Caitlyn becoming, the dictator. It's like, a part of the reason why she becomes a dictator was the massacre that happened earlier in the season, if you
Yeah.
guys remember, right?
Yeah, and that
least-
killed her mother.
Yeah. Well, not just that too, but the massacre that
Yeah, later
happened,
when
the funeral. Yeah.
yeah, the woman who lost her child to
Rennie
Jace.
from the Chemo Barons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Cam Barons. Like I mean, I don't mind the idea of that one Cam Baron going after Jace, but I feel like we could have had a bigger story with her. Like there was a lot of good story opportunities with her.
Well, I think that they just be in the first two episodes just some bosses to fight. Meanwhile, like Smek, the gremlin guy.
Yeah, Snitch.
Eh, yeah, Snitch.
Sneech.
He was a good villain. I
Yeah.
think.
Too bad they
Yeah, I
killed
like him.
too early.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
He had
Sneech,
a-
he had a great design
Yeah,
in
one
season
of
one,
the
and
best
to see him,
fights in this season.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
But
And that's saying
his
something,
design
you know?
reminds me of Stripe, the villain of Gremlins.
Yeah. I remember
Yeah.
you mentioned that in the other podcast.
But
Like,
they were just filler villains, Rennie and Sneak.
Yeah, and the other Ken Barons, they just get defeated off screen.
Off screen.
Yeah, I don't even remember the other two Ken Barons.
Well,
I don't know if they even
one
said their
looked
names.
like a potato with glasses, and a copycat of Harley Quinn, the other.
Yeah.
And I don't remember her name. Huh?
Yeah, I don't remember either. I think were they ever defeated? Because I don't know if they ever were, because we never see them again. I think the last time we saw
I
them
think
was in that
the
meeting.
Potato Man or Eggplant Man, you could say, was defeated in a musical video in the third
yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
In
Oh,
a 5
yeah.
second scene.
Yeah.
In the raids of B and Caitlyn and the team.
Yeah.
The not Suicide Squad.
Yeah. And one of
Let's
the
go.
new character was a bubbly, enforcer, and spoiler, she was evil.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh God. I know who you're
a lot
talking
of
about.
people-
What was her name again?
I don't remember, but a lot of people thought that she was going to be Marcus's daughter because she looked like her, but not result is a completely
No,
different character.
but it's impossible. The age doesn't do it. Huh?
I know, but it's not possible. But a lot of people, when they saw the trailers, they thought there was going to be another time skip or something.
It would be the only.
Oh really?
Yeah, because and also the other character, the other enforcer,
The drunk one.
yeah, a lot of people thought that he was going to be the one of the sons of Vander or something like that, because he kind of looks like him.
Oh wow. I've never heard about any of this discussion.
Well,
Wow.
I
I'm
think
like,
they are just weird theories
Yeah,
from the fandom.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
For
The
example,
fan
I
bases can
remember
get a
one
little.
thing. It's not you to use, to mock of the fan base, but many people, I remember commentaries in YouTube, the breakup with CB and Caitlyn in the third episode. Many people say, YB is crying. She, she beat the crap out of everyone and she could hit hard, blah blah blah. But hey, it's not the physical punch of, the assault rifle of Caitlyn. It was how she treated her.
yeah. Of course, it's more like she
Yeah.
started crying not from the pain of the boot of the rifle. It was more like the fact that now Caitlyn considered her enemy, even though she had done so much for Caitlyn.
And that
Yeah.
Caitlyn becomes a jerk. Huh?
Yeah.
But some people
Yeah.
know why she's crying. She, had been tanking punch from Ambis and people that are much stronger than Caitlyn.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the butt of the rifle, that does her in. Just one tap, boom, she's out. I mean, I'm not saying like it doesn't hurt, but it's like, like we've seen Vi take worse,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was, yeah, it was more like the fact that she was betrayed by Kathleen. That after she did, she still considered her enemy just because she didn't want. I mean, V was willing to kill Jinx, but she only stopped when the girl Isha got in the way.
Oh yeah, I
Caitlyn
remember
was
that.
gonna shoot the two of them.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, like I mean, like I know like Caitlyn's reasoning for that is like, I'm not gonna miss, I can take it, but it's like even if you don't, let's say you actually did hit your shot with Jinx, like if you headshot her, who's to say that the bullet won't go through Jinx and it'll go through to Isha, because bullets, they don't necessarily stop when they hit the target.
yeah,
They're moving so fast they'll go through, and they might hit someone else on the way out.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with Caitlyn having a darker storyline, but the dictator part, I think it was too much out of character.
Yeah, I think it would have made more sense if Ambessa had manipulated Salos instead of Caitlyn, like she was doing earlier actually.
And it doesn't have much
Yeah.
sense that she preferred Caitlyn because Salos was more stupid, was corrupt, was the perfect puppet for her.
Yeah,
Huh?
Yeah, I agree. Because like from what we've seen, like back in the beginning of the season, it seems like it didn't really take Mbessa that much to convince Salo to be on her side. You know?
I mean, yeah, Salo was a selfish guy and he got his legs crushed by the incident with the missile, so of course he was going to be angry.
Yeah, and not to mention like he witnessed, as he said in that scene, the deaths of the other council members when he says, "How many of us we have to be blown up until you open your eyes," or something like that. So like even when he's upset, like there's a good reason, why they should retaliate, because yeah, this is probably one of the most extreme acts the Undercity has done, directly attacking the council.
Yeah. And ironically, Salos had somewhat of a redemption arc when he becomes a true believer of Victor. Huh?
Yeah, but then Jace
Oh yeah.
smacks him when
Yeah.
he comes back from his. Uh,
But that was a little dark for Jace, I think.
yeah,
Why all the characters
Yeah.
change and becomes more gritty or anti-heroes like Jace or Caitlyn?
I mean, I think it would have made sense, but it felt rushed. Like, some of these ideas are interesting and could be done well, but like I said before, like it's like 2 or 3 seasons squash it into one. Like each act, each 3 episodes of the 9 feels like a rushed season of its own.
Yeah, but back to the Jace and Salos encounter, I think it was bad because first, Salos was unarmed. Second, he was from the back, so in that scene, Jace looked like a bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what they were trying to do with that scene was that they were obviously trying to imply like Jace has seen something from wherever the hell he went, so that's why he's killing it. But like we're not really given much context. It's like, okay, wait, what did he see? What kind of pushed him to kill Salo in such a violent way too?
Yeah, Well, there is a hint that something changed in Salos. When Jace killed Salos, there is in blood is como metallic liquid. Huh?
Yeah.
So the people that
Oh
becomes
yeah.
part of the cult of Victor, they become humans. They lost their humanity and become something different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when they showed that, they were like, well, how do I explain it actually? Like, oh, okay, when when they became part of this cult, like, yeah, at first when Victor shows off his power, curing the addicts of that
Yeah.
dark place, it shows it as like a good thing, as like he can take away all your pain, all your you know disabilities, your diseases. You can become like the person you once were. But there was like this very like strange, ominous, atmosphere coming from it. It's like something
Not
doesn't
only
feel right
that,
about this.
Stiggy, and I remember something. You don't only become how you were. Physically, you look like the best version of yourself. You know, the nerdy guy, I think his name was Hawk or something like that, and become an addict of Shimmer. Huh? After
Yeah,
he was cured by Victor, he becomes much more attractive and all that,
Yeah.
and doesn't look so nerdy. So
yeah,
you look better in the outside when Victor use his power in you, but in the inside you are just, I don't know, liquid, metallic liquid or something like that.
Yeah.
yeah. That is that. I was confused by that. It's like, wait, what? How does that work? Like, how are they alive? Like, what? It just leaves so many questions.
I mean, yeah, it's, I guess what the Arcane does. But um, another thing, we forgot to mention, but it is important in this season. Uh, Singe has the role of bringing Vander back with
Oh
Warwick.
yeah.
Yeah, and becomes like a gigantic werewolf or something like that.
Yeah, it's a playable character, one of the champions of League of Legends.
But I think that just diminish Vander death and sacrifice.
Yeah, he should have stayed dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I would have liked that too. Because like Vander had the perfect ending for him. Even if it was tragic, it just fits so well with his
I
character.
think the problem with Warwick, it was the only thing. He was there, was, in the iconic final episode, the final battle, we have Mel and Caitlyn versus Ambessa and Ico and Jace versus Victor, and this is obviously a spoiler. Well, all this podcast is a big spoiler, but but B and Jinx need someone to fight, and they need and Warwick is like the big brute. Just they have someone to fight. He's like, I don't know, the monster Goro from Mortal Kombat, the big brute guy.
Yeah.
That's a mid boss.
Yeah, and Vander even had Victor when he absorbed his energy and blood. He kinda even lost all his memories, so it's not even Vander at all anymore.
Yeah, it's just like a puppet, like one of those automaton things, yeah.
And,
Which, speaking of which, oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, what I was going to say is that, yeah, Warwick does have a purpose in the middle part of the season when he attacks the prison and all of that, and later Vi and Jinx kinda work together to try to fix him, and that kinda helps them kinda...
To connect with the cult story, that's the final story arc
Yeah, and that also makes so Vi and Jinx can get along a little better, but after that, Warwick had already served his purpose. It would have made more sense to me that he had died definitely in there, but no, he also becomes a super Warwick with golden things and
Yeah,
everything.
I think that
Yeah.
yeah, I think that his only purpose in the history was, to be a power source to Victor for his final form, as
Yeah,
the final boss. Hmm?
yeah,
Oh yeah, because I think did they use Warwick's blood to heal Victor?
yes,
Yes,
To
because he almost died. Huh?
yeah,
oh
And he
yeah,
need a new
yeah,
body
because Jace shot him with the hammer and
at point blank.
yeah, and made a huge hole in his chest.
yeah,
But I think this part is interesting because before that, Victor just wanna help people and all that. It's just after that almost died with Jace that he becomes like a more evil character.
Yeah,
yeah. Like I don't know. Like the whole thing with Jace was that he's trying to stop Victor, but he didn't really thought to talk to him because Victor, he seemed like he was open to talk to Jace if need be, but nope. Don't ask questions. Just I'm gonna kill you. Boom,
yeah.
done.
And when they revealed that who was the guy in the other dimension,
Arcane Mage.
yeah, when they revealed that it was actually Victor from the other dimension, it makes even less sense because he could have told him, "Hey, you just need to talk to me, and then you will convince me to, stop being evil."
I mean, I know this type of histories that you create your own villain because you could say that Jace create the Victor almost like a sea dictator god and all that. Huh?
Yeah,
When he tried to kill
Yeah,
him. Hmm? Before that, he was like a benevolent, you could say, entity or god. Huh?
yeah, like I don't.
yeah,
It's the problem with these time traveler stories where they try to make it some kind of time paradox and even talking here is dimensions, different like multiverses and also different timelines.
I mean, I think the best part of this season is the second part, the last 3 or 4 episodes, and all the Victor story arc.
Yeah, the other stuff is so rushed that maybe they should have cut it, a lot of it.
yeah, absolutely. Like a lot of what could have happened in like even arc 1 could have been its own season, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like they,
Cuz like
it's like I said,
oh, sorry, go
too
ahead.
many seasons fit into one, but they didn't want to remove any ideas that they have for all these seasons.
Well, maybe it could be just another second season, but not 8 episodes. It should have, is 8 or 9? Was? I don't know.
It's
remember.
9.
And 9.
Nine,
Yeah.
just
no,
like the first.
you need.
I think it was
don't
9,
know,
yeah.
maybe 12 or 14 if you wanna have everything.
Yeah.
In this season.
Yeah.
For example, one of my favorites episodes is that when Echo is trapped in another dimension with Helmedinger. But the problem with that episode is that it feels a little, filler, and you have just 2 more episodes after that, so you don't have the time to just have this battle episode that is like a little more filler. Huh?
Yeah. They could
Yeah,
have
it
maybe
really
made
did.
it so it's just half of an episode or something, but
I think the problem was that it was just a long episode. The Echo story with the another dimension powder and all that. It would be better told if it was in like with little bits in different 3 or 4 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, I gotta like, yeah. They just, it's a very odd scenario with that episode. It's like, even I mean, I could, if they wanted to do like an episode on another dimension, maybe sure, but like I don't know, maybe put more substance to it because I'm pretty sure like if you watch the rest of the season without that episode, it wouldn't have really changed anything.
Well, I think the only thing that justifies that episode is more to Echo have the powers to help beat Victor.
Yeah,
Huh?
the time manipulation.
Device.
Yeah, device.
Device.
Yeah, and
The Z drive, I think, is what they call
yeah,
it.
yeah, that thing. I mean, it's
The magic gizmo, you could say.
yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
Time gizmo.
And yeah, I mean, the problem with that episode is that it was not long enough to actually see what happened to all the characters in that alternative dimension.
Or to just really like the new characters, like, the cute powder and all that. Huh?
Yeah. So it
Yeah.
felt short, and at the same time, it used too much time that we can't afford to wait.
I think that episode was like, the good ending. If the series had a good ending with all the characters happy and all that, was
Yeah.
like,
Oh yeah.
to show you the good ending.
Yeah. The only bad thing that happened was that Vi died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not only that,
Vi's
I
death
remember
helped fix the
something.
world.
I want to talk about that episode. Because, in that episode, Iko becomes like an isekai, and the Iko from the main show, the main dimension, possess the Iko from that dimension. So when he goes back to his dimension, the real Iko from that dimensions materialize again.
Yeah?
Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so Helmetinger, when he sacrificed himself and he died, technically he killed the other Helmetinger from that dimension too.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, he did.
And that is a little jerk move if you think about that.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that when you are using the body of another person.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Also, and yeah, even they didn't explain much stuff about that alternative dimension. They didn't say what happened to the Mel of that dimension or the Victor of that dimension of the Jace. And
Yeah,
I think it would have been interesting because remember that if they didn't make Hextech, Jace was going to kill himself, and maybe that could have been another consequence of
And
everything
because,
going good.
a little girl died that was being that time, maybe, if Jace is in jail or something like that, 1 or 2 lines was enough to say what happened to the Jace from that dimension.
Yeah.
yeah, they just leave it up in the air. Cause like, I mean, obviously Jace has to have exist in that dimension, because otherwise that lab wouldn't exist, and the magic stones wouldn't be there.
I think
Without
we even
Jace.
saw a glimpse of Jace in the flashback when they show how Vi died.
Oh yeah, because like in the original dimension, Jace was right there when the explosion went off, but we don't even see him when she when Vi dies in that scene.
Or the solution, if they had more time to, you know, this episode, a little working a little more the history, you could say that the explosion not only killed the young Vi, and Jace too is by the explosion, you
Yeah.
know, got caught.
Yeah.
And there you have the solution.
Yeah, maybe
Well,
there is more consequences to everything going well without Hextech.
well, I still
Yeah.
like it, this episode that was a little warmer and calmer
Yeah.
than the others.
Yeah.
Oh, also
Yeah.
we have to mention something. In this season, the final battle and final villain is Victor, but for most of this season, the main villain is Ambessa.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. Victor becomes the final villain. He becomes the ultimate bad out of everybody.
Yeah, and I think that Ambessa was a pretty good villain. The actress that played her did a good job, and she was really well animated, like all the characters. And
The problem with me, with Ambessa, was, you know, she's a master manipulator and a good fighter, powerful warrior, but what was her plan with Victor? How you control a god or something like that? I mean, she tried to use Victor to empower her own armies and all that. To just protect herself of Black Rose, but you know, Black Rose was a wimp in reality when Mel beat the crap out of her.
yeah.
So it doesn't
Oh, yeah.
have much sense to do a pact with the devil like Ambessa did with Victor.
Yeah.
I mean, Ambessa
Yeah.
says to Victor that he needs to be loyal to her, but technically the one that would be the puppet would be Ambessa to Victor, not in reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like Ambessa has nothing that she could offer to Victor, and Victor has, you know, no reason not to turn his back against Ambessa because, you know, he has like so much power against her that she will have no chance to win.
Yeah, in a way, she just made a pact with someone that's more dangerous and more powerful than the Black Rose, which is what started this whole thing. Like when she owed them something to the Black Rose.
Well, that's the problem with the Black Rose. It seems like she was gonna be the big bad of a third season with Mel as the main heroine.
Yeah.
But you know that
Yeah.
was scrapped and all that.
Or maybe it will be. They could easily say that, no, you didn't kill me. I'm still alive. I am a Black Rose.
But Black Rose is no like a jobber villain.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I mean, like, I would have liked to have seen the Black Rose as, like, you know, a villain in a potential season 3. Because, like, what they showed with the powers is an interesting idea. The fact, you know, it's this Noxus group with powers.
She looked like, you know, your typical evil satanic villain and all that. Yeah, your the original evil, you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she was.
But they just. Oh, no, sorry, go ahead. I
No,
interrupted you,
but
sorry.
She was just disappointing, embarrassed from
Yeah.
herself.
Yeah. And even that.
Yeah.
part- yeah. What were you going to say?
Actually, I'm not sure. I forgot. I forgot already. Sorry. It's okay.
I
Well,
think.
But just, you know.
Here is my opinion. You you remember the assassination attempt to Ambessa with, that woman of the trade commerce or something like that, that was like a weaker black rose, something weird? Huh?
Yeah, Invictus.
Oh yeah, I remember her.
Yeah, well, I think that scene was good. And after that, you don't show Black Rose from all the season except after, Victory's defeat. And the part when, Black Rose ambush and vanish, you could say Mel. And that's, the tease for the third season with Black Rose as the main antagonist.
Yeah. But they could.
Oh, yeah, that would have
show
worked so much better.
Mel as a champion.
Yeah, but I think that's how I should do it to be for a potential third season. Hmm? Just that two scenes with Black Rose, nothing more. Hmm?
Yeah, that would have worked better. I would have. It would have given so much opportunity, storytelling opportunities for Mel and the Black Rose. It really show off how scary these guys can really be under the right writing.
Yeah, and what else? What we can talk about? Yeah, the supposed kind of movement, the Jinxsters that for
The Jinxsters.
yeah, that was formed thanks to
Oh
Aisha.
yeah,
Like, that was like the Joker cult from the Joker movie.
Yeah.
Huh?
On the
yeah.
or the Jokers from Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
What?
I don't like too much that story because one thing. All the people in sound. Now Jinx is somewhat of a hero, and but about B, nobody gives a crap about B, and B was fighting all the time and was the heroine, but now it's Jinx now, for some reason.
Yeah.
And she's the symbol of, hope and all that. I don't think it was deserved that.
Yeah, I mean the worst thing that Vi did was be working with Kathleen in the middle. No?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
But
But she was doing that to capture Jinx, which, by the way, it doesn't make much sense. Like, this is not like the movie Joker when Arthur, when
Oh no, sorry, my microphone.
yeah, when Arthur was a nobody, so it makes sense that he could become like a symbol because he was a nobody. He had no people didn't know him, but in Sean, people do know Jinx. They know she's a terrorist.
and she was an assassin of, Silk and all that.
Yeah,
She killed many of
Yeah.
the residents of Sound.
yeah, and a lot of the firelights.
Yeah, like everybody knows who Jinx is. They know how dangerous she is. They know the lengths she'll go for Silco.
Yeah, and because of that, I don't like the history to portray her as a symbol of hope and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have made more sense if she's just the symbol of chaos rather than hope. Because I look at Jinx and I don't see hope. I just see chaos and death. Which, speaking of which, you mentioned the firelights, right?
Yeah.
Like that's another thing too with the firelights that revolves around the Jinxers in a way. Is that for some reason the firelights are cool with Jinx now? They look up to her for some reason. It's like, wait, what?
Didn't she just blow the face from one of its members because it looked like B?
Yeah, the pink-headed girl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And she also threw bombs to many of them, and I am sure that those are dead too.
yeah. Because I think that episode in season 1, Silco implied that the only Firelights that survived was the Bat Dude and Echo. So yeah, those guys are dead.
Yeah,
But that's okay.
that's my problem with the Jinxster arc. I know that it's not fault of Jinx if the people are stupid and just wanna symbol and that's happened to be Jinx. Hmm?
Yeah, but yeah, and to me it would make more sense if the Jigsters were not portrayed as good guys, if there were actually bad guys that were just causing chaos all the time. That would make sense that they would feel inspired by a person like Jinx. But not like
Yeah.
they're good guys, the Jinxsters, they're just like the Firelights.
And the sound people become Jinxsters.
Yeah. Like that doesn't
Yeah.
make sense. The Firelights were doing a lot of good stuff for the Sean, and they get no recognition.
The same with Big.
Yeah, that's true. Like like having the Firelights as the symbol of hope would have made much more sense, because they're actively going out of their way to help people. Meanwhile, Jinx is just at home, just playing games with Isha.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just another thing too is that Jinx is the reason why Zahn is in an awful state in season 2. She's the reason why, even though it's stupid how Caitlyn becomes a dictator, she is part of the reason why Caitlyn became a dictator, and how the Noxian soldiers and this martial law was declared on Zahn. That's her fault. So I don't know why they would look up to her. You put us in a bad position, but we're gonna worship you because you're cool.
Yeah, and another thing that was weird, like when after Isha dies, trying to save everyone from the Vander that was Warwick that was going crazy, uh, she clearly says that she's going to kill herself and puts Vi in the jail in that cell, but uh, right after that, Kathleen gets her out, and they start to just having sex.
Well, they
Oh,
were born.
God.
Can you blame them? They are two young, attractive women.
Yeah, but don't you think that you would want to go save your sister?
Yeah. And Nico is
with,
to
like-
save Jinx.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Jinx killed herself like 5 times, but he just rewind the time every time.
Yeah.
Nico.
Yeah, they I don't know if this was the writer's intention, but they made that scene, funny. Like, it comes off as funny, which
A comical one. And it was supposed to be a dramatic one, I think.
Yeah.
yeah. Like, they obviously wanted it to be treated seriously. Like, Jinx is gonna die. She's at her lowest point, but the time rewind just makes
The
it.
timer rewind
just-
and all the times that Jinx died, she becomes like some sort of Kenny McCormick of South Park.
Yeah.
In one episode, in 2 minutes, she killed herself like 5 times.
Yeah.
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 And sex scene with Kathleen and Vi. I get it that they want to put a scene to show that their thing is not just that their love is real and out of that. So the love, the sex scene makes it canon and definitively there are a thing, but they could have put the scene in other place, like maybe, I don't know, after everything happens or something at the end.
Yeah.
It reminds me of one scene. Well, this scene is worth of you know, the Batman, the Dark Knight Rises, when there is the countdown to just drop an atomic bomb and Batman just wastes like 30 seconds kissing and making out with Catwoman.
Yeah.
And you have a bomb ticking, an atomic bomb.
Yeah.
I remember that scene.
Oh god, I think I remember that too. It's like, what are you doing? Time is of the essence. Get the fuck out of there. Get that thing out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like with another thing with like the Vi and Kaylin sex scene, it's like it feels so wrong too because like, you know, at that point in time, Caitlyn is in a relationship with that Scottish enforcer. I think her name's Maddie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
they,
so it's just like,
yeah, but they make
sorry, go
her
ahead.
evil, so,
So
who cares?
it's okay. Huh?
Yeah.
So fuck Mally. Huh?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
kill her too.
don't think of it as cheating. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like it's so weird too. Like even before they reveal her as evil, it just comes out of nowhere too.
Maddie wasn't really a bad guy or, you know, a spy from Ambessa. I think she just changed sides because she think that, you know, the bad guys are winning. Huh?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
a decision in the moment. More.
That's what it felt like because there was no build up at all. When I rewatched season 2, there's no hints that Maddie's a traitor. It's like, what the fuck did this? Where did this come from? This comes out of nowhere.
Well, but the only logical explanation is that she decides to change sides because the bad guys are winning.
Yeah. But it makes her a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where they have to get out of the way too, so their ship can survive. The Kate Vi ship must live. Oh, speaking of which, like, you guys saw the way Maddie dies.
Yeah. When Mel uses the shield inside, she puts Maddie inside of a shield, and the bullet starts ricocheting inside the shield and hits her in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, it like ricochets like 3 times in the shield, and it just does like a perfect headshot.
I think that Maddie deserves better because
Yeah.
she died like a little villain with no build up. Huh?
Yeah.
And she was like a cute, you know, good guy for most of the season.
Yeah, and out of nowhere, ooh, I am evil. It's not like the other like side characters that didn't have much dialogue, that they actually were treated well. I mean, even the drunk guy got killed like maybe out of nowhere, but he never was shown to be a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Loris. I think his name was Loris.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of which, drunk guy Loris, he didn't really have much of a character other than that, you know, he looks like Vander, you know, a little bit.
And he's
but then-
drunk, that is his personality.
Yeah, Vander
Yeah.
was a bartender and Loris is a drunk guy.
You see the parallels? See, they're connected, right?
Well,
It's called
you know
storytelling.
that, I don't know, the drunk guy becomes friend of B because the two like the liquor.
Yeah.
And that is his
Yeah.
connection with
Ah,
Vi.
yeah, now I remember. That's how Vi was convinced to become an enforcer.
Yeah, getting drunk with the other drunk guy.
Yeah.
Hmm?
I mean,
Good way to get someone. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
maybe something else happened off screen, but we don't see anything
I
else.
think that was just, a comical scene, like an anime scene.
Yeah, so I see that that's the only thing that lets us to believe that if I talk, oh, not all the enforcers are evil. Now I am going to be one of them.
Yeah. Uh, Speaking of which, like remember when Kaylin tried to convince Vi to become an enforcer and Vi declines it, and then after meeting Loris in the massacre, she just joins the enforcers. There's no scene to show us how, she is convinced to join. She just joins out of nowhere.
Yeah, we see her rejecting at first the badge and all of that, but mm, uh, not accepting it.
Like maybe you could have done. Yeah.
Better than
Like maybe you could have
just
done something
become
with that.
drunk and accepting to be an enforcer.
Yeah.
Yeah. All you need is a drinking buddy to join a police brutality squad.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than having a drinking partner. And like another thing too with like Loris is that the way he dies too. I mean, like I don't mind the idea of Loris dying, but just I don't know if I'm the only one, but I didn't really feel much when Loris died. He's like, oh,
Well, because
okay. And
apart of Helmdinger, any main character or secondary character dies. Just the
Yeah.
the other.
They can afford to kill the champions characters, the playable characters of League of Legends.
yeah,
I
we need to save these
mean,
characters for the
The
future.
problem with the deaths, to say, this is a serious story and all that, is that any of the main characters died. Just, that Gronk guy or Maddie, but Helmdinger could be
Yeah.
an exception.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I bet that the only reason they kill him is to kind of prove, yeah, see, we can kill a few of the, the champions. Well, technically,
Yeah.
we don't know what happened at the end with Victor and Jace, but it is possibly that the diet of there went into another dimension.
They got sucked by the Arcane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just kind of makes it a little confusing. Or with the scene of
Speaking of,
Jason
I
Victor.
know this season had problems, but can we talk about the last episode? That's a good one. The first of the best of the season. It reminds me of, the ending of The Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, that battle.
The
and all
return of
that.
the king and all that. Like an epic final battle of good
Yeah,
versus
with
evil.
the Hextech weapons and the people from Nazis using Shimmer and all of that.
Yeah, versus Saun and Piltover.
Yeah. Oh, if this one thing that this season did right was
The last episode.
and the animation and the some of the fight scenes were really damn good.
Yeah, but I think the
Oh,
final
yeah.
episode was probably the best episode of all the series, but I know it's just an episode, but it's the last episode and was really good for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was almost
And,
like a movie,
Yeah. I mean,
with high adrenaline action and all that.
oh yeah, it was also the longest episode of the series, 50 minutes.
Mhm.
Oh, was it? It's the longest episode?
Yeah, I saw it on Netflix. Yeah, and they say the duration is in there.
Oh, wow. I wasn't paying attention to the durations. I had no idea that it was the longest episode of the series, which makes sense
And
because,
my favorite part is the final battle with Victor, as he Eco final stand versus Victor and his droids and all that.
Yeah, and Eco doesn't die. Echo like much times, but he gets defeated several times and has to rewind time just to try again.
But I
Yeah.
think that scene with Eco fighting the droids and all that is like his finest hour. Huh?
Yeah, that was great.
Guess that explains how the pool's down there.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Cause like Echo, he was determined as all hell to stop Victor, even if he got fucked up quite a few times in that fight. He wasn't giving up, which I do like. I did like that.
Yes, and the animation was perfect in that scene.
See. Another
Oh
thing
yeah,
that we,
absolutely.
Yeah, another thing that we haven't mentioned is that the first season had like 2 music videos, but this one pretty much every
Half of
episode starts with one.
Oh yeah, that's true. Cause like even the first episode of season 2 kind of starts with a music video. I mean, it happens a little bit later, but it still happens early on. It's like I mean, I like the music videos from season 1, but it was like, why the sudden push of so many music videos, in
They
one
weren't
episode?
bad. It reminds me of classic MTV.
I mean, yeah,
videos.
they were good, but I mean, the problem is that the show already has an opening and they just used the same song that from the first season. So why not instead of doing that, make that each music video that
It's the
start-
opening of
Yeah.
each episode.
Yeah, each music video I put the credits and there you have the opening and you don't waste much time then.
Yeah, like it helps, because obviously they want to use these music videos to establish what's gonna happen or what will happen or what's going on at the moment. Like they could have done that and just save the time for like
Well, at
more
least
storytelling
then
opportunities.
The characters don't come to just sing and all that like in Has Been Hotel, that
Yeah.
had 2 songs per episode, and all the characters stop talking, and for some reason they become, singers and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is that. I will give it
Well,
that.
there's a part
And-
when Heimerdinger starts singing.
Oh,
Heimerdinger
yeah.
is like, your classic wise old folk like Yoda or Gandalf.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. And I find it funny when Heimerdinger began to sing, but then while he's singing, you just get these like shots of like Powder, holding her dead sister while Heimerdinger's just singing this cheerful song. Is like, these are 2 very different tones, Heimerdinger.
And also Jay is going in that hellish dimension.
I think
Wait.
that Helmedinger, he didn't want to go back to his original dimension. His original dimension was shit. Huh?
Yeah, he wanted to stay there.
Yeah.
But can you blame
Yeah.
him? This other place is peaceful. All the people are nice.
Yeah.
Sound and Piltover are in peace.
Yeah, and when Echo
Yeah.
asked him, are you trying to go back and all of that, and he said he tried everything, but then in just like 2 days, Echo manages to find the pieces of that gem.
Yeah, and in like 1 week, with the help of Powder and Helmedinger, he constructed that
Yeah.
interdimensional
Yeah,
portal.
and he was like, I don't know, Heimerdinger for an entire year there, so he had more than enough time to come up with something.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah.
it's not bad writing. It's more like he just don't want to go back. Hmm?
Yeah.
But like I
Yeah.
said, can you blame him? The
Yeah, I mean, to be fair,
original
yeah.
dimension even used remove of his place of a council member when he was one of the founders of Piltover.
And that caused a lot of the stuff to happen. Yeah.
When in doubt.
Yeah. Because like, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm
No,
blanking
what
out.
were you
I
going
had
to
something to
say?
say, but I forgot it.
You forgot.
No, I had. Yeah, I had it, but it just left my mind all of a sudden.
Well, I
Sorry.
think that Helmedinger was good, just, good old folk that just want to chill out and have a peaceful life, and that other dimension was perfect for him.
Yeah.
So I can't blame
Yeah.
him that he just give a crap about the original dimension.
Yeah.
Hmm?
But
And another thing too was that.
Yep.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was saying that we have been for a while going, and maybe we could end it soon. So, what will be your final thoughts of this season?
Well, my final thoughts with this season. Let's see. Should I just give like an estimate of how I feel,
Or
or
maybe just say
Is it-
some last thing that you wanna say.
okay? Let me think. One more thing to say.
Something you think that
Uh,
needs to be said.
Oh, I think it's I actually wanted to mention some more things with Warwick,
Yeah.
because some things about with Warwick is that, the end of season 1 and the teasers for season 2 were just hyping up Warwick to be like he's going to be a really big player in season 2. He's probably going to end up doing some stuff, And honestly, I was really excited to see Warwick because, if you know the lore with Warwick, he's like, giant werewolf guy going around Zon, killing criminals, kind of like the Punisher, but just, in the world of Arcane. But I wanted to see more of just Warwick, being Warwick. We don't really get to see him, as Warwick. I think we only see him do it once, and that was with the prison scene, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In that
And then-
sense, he wasn't
oh, sorry.
exactly, a good guy or even an anti-hero. Was just like a mindless beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just kind of somewhat controlled by Singed, which I'm kind of confused about because I don't know how the hell Singed can control Warwick like that, or that which actually reminds me of another thing. Like, I was kind of confused on how Singed was able to get Warwick to go to him, because you know how he cuts his hand and uses his blood to bring Warwick to him. But it kind of confuses me. It's like, wait, is that all it takes? Is some blood? It's like, but Zon is a really big place. I mean, wouldn't there be people bleeding all the time? I mean, the Central I can understand. Maybe Singe did something where like Warwick would
Well-
detect his blood or prioritize his blood somehow.
I think the problem with Warwick was, like I said before, he was just in the season to have someone Jinx and B to fight in the final battle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he
was kind of a plot
like
device.
the god of Mortal Kombat, the big brute bad guy, nothing more. Huh?
yeah, which honestly just feels disappointing. Because I wanted to see, at least more storytelling with Warwick, I mean, like, when he goes around killing, like, those enforcers, I thought that was, that was pretty alright. Because, it shows he's terrifyingly fast and strong, and he can regenerate. There's hardly anything that could stop him, aside from, an arcane kamikaze bullet and Jinx's bomb at the end of Season 2. Which I'm kind of confused how that killed him at the end of the show.
I think the thing I don't understand is when, Victor almost destroyed himself in the final battle. Why is Warwick still alive if he is like a puppet now of,
Yeah,
Victor?
he should have been dead like the other drones.
Oh yeah, actually, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. That's a very confusing thing because like he was already dead by the time Victor was trying to gain control of him. So if Victor's gone, he should have fallen down, but no, he's still going. Like, how come? Like, is the animal, the wolf thing inside Warwick still alive? Is that why? They don't really explain it. It just happens.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, the problem with that is sadly, they need to kill Jinx in this season. Why? Because even if she became one of the good guys at the end, all her crimes, after, the Victor problem, she will be in jail for all its life. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like there's no way she was gonna escape that, even
Yeah,
if you know.
not a slap in the wrist. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely not. Piltover would absolutely not allow that.
And also
You did way too many crimes for it
and
to be looked
also-
over.
Yeah, and even then, they also wanted, the happy ending with Vi and Kathleen, and that would not be possible if Kathleen was to put Jinx in jail.
For all its life.
Yeah.
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 So sadly,
If
from a narrative point, you could say was the logical or the good choice to just kill off Jinx. Hmm?
Yeah.
yeah, but they don't even give us that because at the end of season 2, at least with like Caitlyn when she's looking over the vent schematics that she used to gas on with, like she found out that there's vents inside those giant pipe thingies. I'm not even sure what those things are. It's kind of confusing, but it implies that Jinx survived and she used those vents to escape.
That still doesn't make much sense.
Well,
It really doesn't.
it makes the same sense as Keikachi surviving a volcano
Yeah.
in Tekken
They
8.
had to do a retcon for that.
Yeah, I still can't believe they did that. They just changed that. There's
Yeah,
no
but-
way they would survive, but we need the character. We gotta keep him around.
Well, I have my own final thoughts of this season too. I think this season is 50-50.
Okay.
Cons, is a little rushed and the first 2 episodes are okay, but after that, the next 3 are too much things, but now that's and the pros, I think that Victor's story arc is really
Yeah.
good and a great finale from
Yeah.
the show. Hmm?
Yeah.
So 50-50.
Yeah.
It had some problems, but it had some good thing too. So the first season is better, but the second season, I'm gonna defend the second season because I have seen bad sequels like the Star Wars, Disney trilogy and all that. Hmm? Or the
Yeah.
last Hobbit movie, the Five Armies, or the Matrix sequels, and this is a decent sequel season. Not a perfect, but it's decent. Huh?
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
the prequels to the Star Wars originals.
Yeah, so I have
Yeah.
seen worse. I have seen bad sequels from something that is great. So I don't hate this second season like many people.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Now you're
Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Oh,
no, I
me
am fine.
or
And I guess that yeah, you
oh.
agree with that, Steven?
Yeah, I'd say I agree. Sorry, I got confused for a second there. But yeah, I'd say I agree with that. I think that's a fair assumption.
Hoping I could just
As
find
many problems as I have with this season, I say it's all right. I say it's all right. Like there's definitely some good ideas that could have been fleshed out, or maybe like have these ideas as like seasons on their own, right? But ultimately, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
Like I'd say like Star Wars prequel, as like you said before.
yeah.
Well, anyways, I think that is enough. So uh, that's all.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was pretty fun, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No problem.
No problem. See you later, dude.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's all.
I'll see you later, man.
See
Hopefully
you
we get to do
later,
this again.
guys.